Sure.
On this, Hamas using civilians as human shields. 2 weeks ago, I asked you about a photo of Israeli soldiers posing in front of the Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital, and there were also reports that the IDF was using this hospital as their military base. I asked you about this, and you responded by saying that you asked Israel for further information. Did they get back to you? Do you have any updates on that?
I don't have any specifics to offer as it relates to that at this time, but I will just echo what I said then, in that any kind of violent or kinetic activity so close to a hospital, we certainly would take issue with. But Hamas, of course, does have a track record of using civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, as bases of operations. As it relates to what is happening in that picture or the specifics around that operation, I will let our partners in Israel speak to.
Can I just follow up on some of that?
Yeah.
In the absence of this ceasefire for hostage release agreement, can you give us an update on what you think the achievements of Israel's military campaign in Gaza are?
Pardon, Tom. Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Do you have an update on what you believe the achievements of Israel's military campaign in Gaza are?
So, Tom, it's really not for me to speak to the IDF's achievements or not. They have every right to not just defend themselves, but to hold the terrorist perpetrators of October 7th to account. They also, we share their stated goal of defeating Hamas, and that continues to be what we're focused on as well. In part of when we talk about the future of the region, when we talk about what we want to see for the region and the diplomacy that we hope a ceasefire can unlock, we talk about ensuring that the Gaza Strip can no longer be a springboard of terrorism on the Israeli people. And part of that includes the defeat of Hamas. And that is a line of effort we, of course, support.
I mean, I asked the question because it was the 29th of May that the Secretary said it was appropriate to ask how incremental gains against Hamas stacked up against what he described as the unintended but horrific consequences of military action when you're going against people who are embedded with civilians. That was after the deaths of at least 45 people in a tented encampment after an Israeli airstrike. I mean, we've now had reportedly more than 100 people killed in a school in Al Tabin over the weekend. So are the Israelis making anything more than incremental gains? I mean, it's 2.5 months since then.
Tom, I will let our partners in IDF speak to their own operations and any progress they're making. What I can say, though, is that the points you raise just further underscore the critical nature of why we're so focused on getting a ceasefire deal across the finish line. It's important that we think that it is truly the only lever left when it comes to stopping the suffering, stopping the endless loss of life. Is it the only lever,
a ceasefire? It's not. I mean, you have leverage in terms of stopping arms to Israel. So,
Tom, we have a long-standing security relationship with Israel, and it's totally appropriate if you and others would feel that maybe that perhaps shouldn't be the case. But Israel faces threats from not just Hamas, but Iran and other Iranian proxies, and this is a security partnership that is going back decades. And I will just stress again, and Sean rightfully added it at the onset of his question, that the security systems that were notified yesterday, we are talking about systems, some of which would really have no use in such a conflict in Gaza in the first place, but also we're talking about systems that the earliest some could be delivered is 2026, with the vast majority of them falling somewhere between 2027 and 2029.
Okay, but I mean, when you say it's the only lever, I'm just asking a question, but the point is that the Secretary 2.5 months ago described incremental gains against Hamas. So that's why I'm asking the question 2.5 months later, when you've continued a military assistance relationship that funds Israel's campaign in Gaza. I'm just asking the question, are the gains anything more than incremental against Hamas?
Tom, we have come to the conclusion that the best path forward is for this ceasefire deal to get across the finish line, and that's what we are lazily focused on. DR.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sure.
Sorry.